So, hi everyone, welcome to a new video. My name is Justin with Sinclair Dental. I want to welcome my customers in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. So for today's video, I have a really special guest with me, Larry from Sable. You might also recognize him as Larry from Belmont. So I'm very excited to have Larry with us today. He brings years and years, actually over 43 years of experience in the dental field. So I'm very excited to see what he has to bring to us today in terms of innovation in all sorts of different products in different fields. So Larry, thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, thank you, Justin. Appreciate the opportunity. Actually, it's my first time actually doing this. It's quite exciting. Looking forward to seeing how many mistakes I can make. Seriously.
Perfect. No, I'm
It's
sure we'll
going to be
have.
recorded, so everybody will be able to say, "Uh-oh, he did that." No, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about Sable Industries. It's a company that's established in Kitchener in Ontario, fully a Canadian company, which is quite extraordinary, quite rare actually in the industry. And the nice thing about Sable is over the years of existence, which is about 25 years now, that they have really looked into the market to see exactly what innovative products they could bring to the market, not just a Me Too thing or something like that. They really work hard on especially getting products that are environmentally friendly. So if we can kick off with that, we could probably look at one of our most important products that we have at Sable Industries. It's called BioPure. Now, BioPure is a really, really interesting little product. Everybody knows suction cleaners. Every day they pull out the bottle, bring it to the chair side and suck down a certain amount of liquid to clean out the lines. And that's basically how it's done day to day.
Mhm.
The difference with BioPure is that first of all, it comes in a powder form. And the reason for that is because it's actually microbes. There's no, it's a product that's 100% green. There's no chemical in it involved compared to what we're using today. When we take that big gallon of liquid and we suck down that typical liquid, it's soap and water we're using. Here we're using an actual microbes that come alive when we take that powder and put it into a container. I follow the recipe. And the microbes, what they like to do is obviously they like to live. Once they're alive, they want oxygen. So they go into the system and they attach to all the the organic waste, sorry,
Mhm.
that's attached into the plumbing of the dental clinic. And it eats away and it dissolves basically. It sort of liquefies everything so everything flows much easier. And that's how the BioPure actually exists and how it lives. And once it's finished its job, it goes down into the drain. Well, it's just a microbe that dies away. There's no effect on the environment. One of the biggest effects that our suction cleaners have on our environment is on our water, especially people that are living close to lakes. They might see things like the blue algae. Blue algae is a huge problem
Yep.
in Canada
Yeah.
overall.
Big in Moncton actually right
Because
now too. Hmm.
well, that's because of the soap. You know, all our soap that we're using in our laundry. Plus, if we're adding that soap into our suction lines, well, if there's a place we can eliminate that is in the dental clinic by using BioPure. It's a different product than what you're used to. It takes a little bit of a protocol when you start, but it's really worth the effort. And on top of it, it's not exclusively for dental. I use it in my camper at the campground. I use it in my dishwasher. I actually did a clean out yesterday on it.
Wow.
And use it anywhere there's plumbing. BioPure will be effective. So it wasn't developed for dentalists per se. It was developed for fish ponds so that the fish could actually grow bigger once they eliminate the organic waste in the
Wow.
water. So they couldn't put a pollutant in the water. So BioPure, like I said, is a really beautiful product. It works extremely well. It when it came out, it won many green products awards. I think it was 3 years in a row. It was 2014, 15, and 16, where it was the product of the year as far as environmentally. So it's worth looking into BioPure and talking with the local Sinclair rep, looking at how they could establish this protocol in the clinic and bring it in to that environment.
So you
Okay.
say bio, right? So that means it's not really powerful. Is that what it means? Like usually we hear bio, we mean, oh, it's not too efficient. Is this like
Well,
how efficient is it?
well, it's extremely efficient. Now, we have to put it in perspective. If you're looking for something that's going to be a power blast, like those
Hmm.
shock
Yep.
products, and you put it into the line because your line is clogged up, um, that's not the product.
Okay.
This will work long term.
Got it.
But what happens is that if you're using those shock products, what happens is they have lots of soap, acids, and different other elements in there.
Mhm.
They're actually they do more harm than they do good.
Okay.
With BioPure, it's a smooth transition, slowly cleans out the lines, and eventually your lines actually will come back to their original sizing because plumbing, when you're using it in dental clinic, will downsize over the years because the organic waste will accumulate in the
Right.
piping.
Yeah.
So you go from a 2-inch pipe and 10, 12, 15 years down the road, you wind up with a 1-inch pipe because
Wow.
all the rest is clogged up. And it's well known that some dental clinics, they actually have to cut the piping out and replace it. And when you
Wow.
take these, I call it a carrot, and you cut both ends of the piping and you look and you can't see, there's no hole. It's just solid. So, the BioPure in the long run will increase your efficiency because the pump, the suction will work better. It has more place to work, more
Yep.
volume. It'll work less hard. Your suction line will work better, or your saliva ejectors and your HVEs. So it's a win-win all the time. It's
Wow.
just a question of getting started, doing it properly as far as the protocol goes,
Yep.
because you don't want to start using BioPure in all the operatories the same week because it works so well that eventually everything's going to come down the
Okay.
piping. So you're going to have like 4 operatories of 15 years of clogging come down in one shot. Not a good thing.
Okay.
You need to take it one step at a time,
Okay.
but it will work. It will clean everything out. So there's a protocol. I don't want to go through the whole thing
Yep.
here, but it's all well documented. I can also explain it, re-explain it, and work with you on that so that you have a success and the people appreciate their experience with it. And on
Perfect.
top of it, at the end of the day, it's a product that's actually going to cost less to use than the typical big 4-liter gallons that people
Yep.
carry around.
Right. Okay.
Because at the end, once you've got everything cleaned out, you only use it twice a week. You
Okay.
don't use it every day.
Wow. Okay. So you
Yeah.
save time as well at the end of the day. So yeah, great
Well,
product.
there's a little bit of less,
Yeah.
they have that protocol you twice a week. So, those 2 days you do your BioPure, and the other days, well, if you want to keep the habit, you can just rinse down water.
Yeah.
Period.
Awesome.
And that works. That'll do the work.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
it's something that's definitely worth looking at and investing some time and
Awesome.
working with BioPure.
So talking about infection control, I've seen that Sable has a new innovation with a shield, obviously with protection. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Exactly what that would be?
Yeah, the Canadian Shield. Um, yeah, that's how we called it
Okay.
because it's a product made there in Kitchener
Okay.
by a local manufacturer who makes these shields for the for the medical field. And the big thing about the shield or shields as per se
Hmm.
is when a surgeon is using a shield, the thing he doesn't want or she doesn't want is distortion.
Right.
When they're looking through a shield, it has to be exactly what they're looking at, has to be the same size with the same dimensions. It's not funny if you're having an operation on your heart, and the doctor sees the root canal, not the root canal, but the canals of your heart bigger than they are, then
Yeah.
that's not too funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, it comes down to the most important part of the Canadian Shield that we sell is Health Canada approved because it does not create distortion. It will not also fog up.
Yep.
It will not scratch. Obviously, if you take a knife to it or if you start rubbing it on the highway, yeah, okay, but it's very, very resistant. so it can be disinfected and reused. That's the big difference compared to some clinics where they're just going to go and buy, some shields from, let's call it Joe Blow.
Yeah.
They'll buy them from a dollar store.
Yep.
Got nothing against that. If you're serving, cocktails in a bar and you want to wear a shield, or if you're working in some type of a restaurant, that's fine. But not when you're working in the medical field. You need something that's much more efficient, more professional, and made for the purpose of working with your hands in somebody's mouth.
Right.
So that's the Canadian Shield.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great little product, homemade.
Perfect. Perfect. And I did notice as well that you have a different type of product. Everybody, lubricates their handpieces. With Sable, obviously you still, need to have a really good maintenance protocol for your handpieces. And there's a product called Easy Lube that you're offering. I don't think many of our customers are too much aware of this product and the benefits out of it. Can you talk a bit about Easy Lube?
Yep. A lube's a lube, as they say. That's what the difference. Heck, as long as I lube my handpiece, everything is fine. Well, yeah, it's not quite the way it works. There are different qualities out there, and Easy Lube was tested with independent companies that do these types of tests. What they do actually is they test, and with a microscope, they go and look into the housing of a handpiece, a high-speed handpiece, and look at the scarring, and they actually count them.
Wow.
They have this laser thing that they pass through it, and they can actually count the number of scars and actually the depth.
Wow.
That the bearings are creating in the handpiece. So obviously, the more your handpiece or your turbine is scratching or scarring the housing, well, the more it's wearing out, and longevity obviously won't be there. The Easy Lube has that particular characteristic. Sorry, it will outlast by, they say 150% easily our competitive lubes. Now, because the way it's formulated, it's made to resist any of the scratching. Actually push the bearing in a sort of like in a middle space in between the housing and the bearing. So that little fine microscopic film is going to be that lube that's not breaking down. If lube breaks down, it's like in a car. You just wear out your rings and your pistons and cylinders quicker. So a lot of people, what do they do with their cars and their other devices that they have to put lube in? They'll put in what we call now as the new generation, which is synthetic.
Yeah. And
this isn't a synthetic lube for handpieces. There are documents that show the scar testing, so you can actually look at the results that came out. And on top of it, there again, you'll be saving a lot of money. I know money doesn't count, I guess, but it actually does. Because at the end of the day, if you're paying, let's say, a can of spray, $50, $60, $70, whatever, and you get a Easy Lube that's actually better, will outperform other products, and you're looking at, what, $35, $40, well, then, you're putting money in your pocket and it's worth it. Now, the nice thing also about the Easy Lube is that when you apply it, it doesn't only lube, it cleans too. So it's a clean and lube. So normally what they suggest when you, before you sterilize your handpieces, is that you clean them thoroughly and then lube them thoroughly and then sterilize. This is obviously 2-in-1. Right. They do it at the same time. So we have the cans, the typical standard can spray. Then we have the refills that go into a lube machine.
Yeah.
And then we also have the droppers. Droppers are just a small little bottle that you can go upside down and just drip drop. Right.
So do they fit in all the machines?
The exception is the can, the Cavo Quattro Care. Yeah. Will not take our cans because it's not coded. They have a code on their cans.
Okay.
So when they put the can in their machine, it reads the code, and then obviously it disperses what it needs to do on the handpieces. Right. That's the exclusive system that they have, but all the rest is good. Is all good. Yeah.
Perfect. Wow. Well, that's awesome. So I've noticed as well that you know, if you talk about power scalers, right? I mean, instrument power scaling, Cavitron, you know, Piazon. There's a lot of, you know, names in the market. You know, Sable offers a product that I don't think a lot of people are aware that it's available right now. But there seems to be, you know, really good value inside, you know, a Sable, you know, ultrasonic unit, if you want to call it. Um,
Mhm.
so why would somebody pick you know, pick a Sable instead of, you know, another manufacturer?
Well, first of all, they have to decide what they want to use as far as technology. If they're going with the Piazon or if they're doing with the Cavitron style.
Mhm.
That's that's their main question right off the bat. If they're going to be using a Piazon, this is not the product for them.
Right.
This is a based on a Dentsply. Sorry, Dentsply. Just give them a free plug
Yeah.
on a Cavitron. Well, they did develop the Cavitron name, so that's why it's okay to use their name, I guess. But this is a Cavitron style.
Yeah.
It has two different power levels. You have the 25K and the 30K.
Mhm.
I would say 95% of the machines sold today are 30
Yeah.
because they're a little bit milder as far as the action.
Mhm.
25K is a bit harsher. It's a little bit more a little bit more of a hammer.
Yeah.
Um, the auto scaler will accept any of the standard Cavitron inserts,
Okay.
tips. So it can be whatever company they're using. It doesn't really matter. The auto scaler will take it. And also, what's nice about the auto scaler that it's an actual original, very first generation Cavitron. When Dentsply came out with it years ago,
Okay.
it was built by this company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even the buttons in front, if you look at it closely and you compare it to an older style Cavitron, they're exactly the same buttons.
Okay. Okay.
So, they've gone on to other things, but we have stayed with them with that product. It's a basic scaler, little workhorse.
Yeah.
It's inexpensive,
Yep. Mhm.
6-year warranty.
Wow.
It's a long warranty. Yeah, the warranty is on the transformer, the inside of the electronics, which is the most important part, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's well protected. It's a really good little working scaler. So somebody who's in the Cavitron wants to use that type of technology,
Mhm.
the autoscaler will definitely answer those needs.
Perfect. Well, you know, a great other option for, you know, everybody that's looking to upgrade. And obviously, these things do break down once in a while. So, is there a way for somebody to try one out? Is there more videos online to show the product? Is there any way to experience the technology?
Yeah, that is really that's a good question, a good point. Um, I would have to get back to you and tell you
Yeah.
exactly where to go to see the actual
Hmm.
autoscaler in function.
Hmm.
We do have it on our website, but we don't have it like as a demo.
Oh, okay.
So
Got
I
it.
could surely figure out and um, find that for you.
Okay.
Now, people that are used to working with a Cavitron,
Hmm.
that's what they want. It's
Right.
not like they have to change their mind if I'm going to be using the Piazon or the Cavitron. It's two schools of thoughts,
Yeah.
and if the ones that are on Cavitron and like Cavitron are going to stay with Cavitron,
Right.
and that's the market that we actually focus on. And also, sometimes they just find that other products might be just a little bit too pricey for what it does.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah.
And so
Everybody
the
has,
autoscaler will,
yeah. Everybody has
but I
their, you
will,
know, their budget, right?
for sure. And I'll be looking at finding you a more explicit demo for people to go look at as far as if you want to see the autoscaler. Now, years ago, we used to have a loaner or two machines, and then we sort of got away from that.
Hmm.
Uh, I would have to relook into if we can want to redo it again in a certain territory.
Perfect.
We might be
No,
able to do something.
perfect. Good to know.
Okay.
And my last question, you know, I see a big Sable banner behind you with handpieces on it. Everybody knows who Sable is. You know, you know, they offer handpieces. But can you tell us more about, you know, the advantage of using a Sable, slow speed or high speed, and everything in between?
Well, when you come down to handpieces, that's how Sable actually was born 25 years ago. That's what they started with. Started with handpiece components, actually. A lot of different companies, Sinclair specifically, use our components to repair handpieces. So when doctors send them in,
Yep.
what comes back usually is a Sable component inside, the bearing and the housing and the spindle and things like that. That's the first thing that we've done. Then we came out with our own little products to be able to answer certain needs out in the market. Now, on the handpiece side of things, we've sort of become a company that likes to match what's out there already.
Yeah.
We call that copying, maybe, but legally, not illegally. We do it so everybody does it so that it's done in a proper way. But we do have the Profi heads, contrangles, separate. We have the one pieces also that attach to every standard E-type motor out there. Most clinics now are using what we call an E-type motor, which is the stem coming out of the motor. So in there, we have there again, it's a local Canadian company that basically, we don't actually build them here, but we do a certain amount of assembling here. And we do a lot of calibrating and adjustment on the different components that we receive, which is quite important. And also, we're able to assist the companies like yourself, customers, to get extra service. Let's say that your service department is overwhelmed, too much work, or they just have a situation where they can't really figure it out. We're there to support them because we do have our technical department that does that work too. So it's very quick. There's no you don't have to go through the duties and all that stuff because it's in Canada. You don't have to ship everything across to the States. Now, getting back to the actual handpieces, like I was saying, we have the slow speed components from the slow speed motor to the contrangles, to the Profi heads, and even the one-piece contrangles now. And then in the high speeds, well, we didn't reinvent the wheel. We came out with a cable attachment type handpiece. We have they're all ceramic bearing, 2-year warranty on them.
Wow.
It's a pretty nice little warranty. And we've had many hundreds of them sold, obviously, and people try them out. They find them very, very comfortable. The handpiece, or the high-speed handpiece, is a bit like it's a bit like a chef in a kitchen where he has his favorite knife, and if you change the knife out, he'll know, or she'll know. They'll immediately, because it's the feeling, it's the touch. They actually know the thickness of the blade. They know everything about that. Same thing with the dentist. That handpiece is in their hands every day. Believe me, if it's got the slightest difference in vibration or the slightest difference in the sound, immediately they'll know it. If they'll like it or they won't. So there again, it's always a question of having them out there, have people try them out, see how they find them. At one point, you can't drive them down their throat. I understand. Some doctors just cannot get used to using a certain other handpiece, but a lot of doctors will go towards our product and find them very, very, very comfortable and a pleasure to work with. So that's pretty well what Sable is able to offer out in the industry. They're a serious company, Canadian-based, as I mentioned earlier, and they look at their products before they introduce them into their product line. They don't just come up with just anything, because there's a lot of other products that we've never brought to the market because we just looked at them and said that doesn't make sense.
You're right.
Because everything that we have is pretty well studied, and making sure that we're at least trying to make a difference out in the marketplace, especially if you look back at the green products.
Right.
Talked about BioPure, and one little product we didn't talk about at all, which just make a quick reference to it, is called it's the ultrasonic cleaner solution. See, there again, everybody's going to say, well, they're all the same. Well, obviously, they're not quite all the same. There again, we've been able to take a ultrasonic cleaning solution and incorporate BioPure in it. So, which means that it's a green product. It doesn't have harsh chemicals in it. You're not rinsing down chemicals at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, when they empty their ultrasonic cleaners, what's going down the drain? Well, it's chemical.
Right.
With the one that we have, it's a pre-soak and a cleaner. So depending on which region of the country you're in, some places now say, well, you have to pre-soak for a certain amount of time
Hmm.
before you actually clean them or ultrasound them. So this one can do both. You can, sit your instruments in there all day if you want. It doesn't really matter. So it's BioPure based, and there again, it's using something that's not going to be harsh on the environment and won't be harsh on your instruments. Because
Right.
often, I mean, I've sold instruments in the past, and one of the biggest complaints I would get is, we call it the famous galvanic reaction. It's
Hmm.
metal that reacts with metal. Because the two metals are not the same and they don't like each other, so they create pitting, create rust, superficial rust often, and just decay, and they also damage edging and things like that. So by using products that are not too harsh on your instruments, obviously you're not going to damage them in the long run and keep them longer.
Yeah, 100%. So this product comes in the powder form, I assume, as well?
No, actually, that one is in the liquid form.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Small, it's small. I can actually bring it up and maybe we can see it, but it's
Right. Perfect.
actually called Dr. Bernard's because he's the one that actually developed it.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
So all in all, that's pretty well what Sable offers. That's what we have in the industry. It's a company that's well respected. It has I think the people that know the company, they know it's a good
Mhm.
company to deal with. I mean, Sinclair is one of our major dealers and customers. They're just the proof. People, a good company like Sinclair will not deal with a company that's upside down.
No, of course not.
Sinclair, Sable has a really good, strong relationship with Sinclair,
Perfect. Perfect.
and
And,
they
and
support us.
great. No, and I know for sure that BioPure has been really well received for many of our customers in New Brunswick and in the Maritimes, and I'm sure throughout Canada. It's been, it's been kind of that savior product that many customers are utilizing. Like you said, that they just, they have years and years of accumulation and they're kind of stuck. Some they do realize about shocking the lines, and they're afraid of the not just the environmental aspect, but really the physical damage that it can cure to the lines, because they're pretty strong products, right? So I think this is a really good product that everybody should be considering, since you have to do it, right? You have to maintain your lines, right? Not Why not consider a bio product?
No. Well, one little point about the BioTour or any other product that you suck down the suction line,
Hmm.
it has to be, we call it pH neutral,
Hmm.
which BioPure is obviously, but there's not that many out there. You'd be
No,
surprised
no.
to see how many products out there will sometimes state that they are, or they're close to being pH neutral, but they're not. And what that does in the long run is that if you're not pH neutral, you're attacking your plumbing.
Yeah,
You're damaging the joints of the
yeah,
plumbing, anything that's welded, anything that's jointed together and has a weak spot. If it's not properly chemically balanced, you could create some other problems down the road.
100%,
So
100%.
it's obviously I'm a salesperson in the sense that I believe in my products, but if it wasn't doing what it actually does,
Hmm.
I wouldn't sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been selling too many years and I know the difference. You don't sell something that just doesn't work.
Right.
It comes right back in your face all the time. So, and this really works very, very well. But
Good.
you need to follow the protocol in the beginning.
That's right. You know what, Larry? Thank you so much for being with me today. I think customers have learned so much. There's so many things going on in the past year, and it's hard to really tone down of what's important and what to focus on. And obviously, infection control seems to be the hot button, and we want to make sure that we do as myself, promoting products that have the performance and are healthy for everybody. So not just for BioPure, but for everything. Again, thank you so much for being with me. Again, I'm sure that everybody can reach you easily. If they have any questions, they can reach me as well. If you have any more, if you have any questions to ask, don't feel, don't be shy. And yeah, thanks again for being with me, and we'll see you next time.
I really appreciate this, Justin, and I think you really did an initiative that's really amazing. I really appreciate this. It's a lot of fun.
Appreciate it. Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
Bye, everybody.